Hi everyone, fiddling around today with this thing that I'm making. Just a little flippy thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I've done some layering and some pockets. I've got more to do here. I want something. It's just not looking quite enough there. This is handmade paper that I'm using. This is something that I made ages ago. I've actually stuck it on to the back of this piece. And then I've got another pocket in here, again with some handmade paper. This is something that I made too, just recently in fact. And I'm starting to use that sort of stuff in my journals and things that I'm doing now. So the other day I won another lot of auction stuff, and this time it was vintage linens. Now I've washed them up, I had to soak them, and I've washed them all up, but I haven't ironed them yet, so I can't show you because they're pretty crumpled, but I'll get onto that and iron them up as soon as I can. But I have got one piece out because you can see this is a pillow slip and it's fairly damaged, and you know, even though I've soaked it in nappy sand overnight, it still didn't all come out. And a few of them are like that. So what I thought I would do with them is I'll actually cut them up into pieces rather than, you know, having them just as one whole. You can see, you'd expect to see, you know, damage like that on some of these old things. And I'll then, you know, probably sell some of them on like bundles of linen because they're really lovely. This is really thick. But this one is really interesting because it's got these little buttons on it to hold the pillow in. So there's two buttons, and I love the buttons. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera, but that is covered in linen. So they've actually made the button and covered it. Well, I don't know how they do it. Yeah, it's a made button. Can you see that at the back? Let me turn that over a bit. You can see it's been made as that. So I just wondered if I cut it off, would I be able to put like some of it on here with that button so I can then undo it. Maybe I'll put it up at the end here. Undo the button, although then that's going to be a big hole. Now I'll have to put it in the center. So if I undo that button, I can then slip something in there. And then, or will I just use this as a whole page maybe? Now there's an idea that I've just thought of, to use this as a complete page in this book, and then have it so it'll flip over. Now the back part of that is pretty clean, so that would work. And then I'd have a little pocket in here with the button. Let me just work out where I want to put it. I will need to put it somewhere that I can sew it on quite successfully. Like maybe on this page here. Although that's going to be the center. And that'll come out. I prefer it, I think, to have it on a page down here. So what I'll do is I'll get another piece of paper. I've got some more of that handmade paper here. Beautiful paper. It was gifted to me, so I'm very lucky. What about this one? This one's really pretty. And if I put this as a page, so let me just cut it to a size that I want. I'm just roughly cutting and tearing these, because if I have that there, then I can have, maybe I'll turn it round and have the pocket in that way. Oh no, I could put it on this side, couldn't I? Yep, okay, just figuring this out. So I don't want to destroy the fact that I love the edging on here. It's really, really nice. So I will just grab my ruler if I can find it here on the table. Bit of a mess as usual. So what I'm going to do is just use my ruler to tear this about where I want it. So probably here. I'm doing it a bit backwards, so I think I have to change to the other side because that's not going to work. I want it rustic. I don't want to cut it. And it's super thick and gorgeous, this paper. And then I want it about the right length for here. So probably maybe here I will tear it off. Right on the flower there, so it's a bit difficult when you hit one of the flowers, which are gorgeous. And it's come out now, but never mind. I've still got lots of others in there. So this one, maybe I'll turn it around. Yep, okay. And I'll put, so this one will attach to this one. I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to make sure I could attach this onto here and get it to be the correct size. So let's pull it out. I'll move this out of the way for now and get it so that I can make it into this pocket thing I'm thinking. So with the button in the center, I know what I'm doing. I might not seem like it, but I do actually have a plan. I'm going to cut through here and just a little bit longer so I can sew it down, and then through here. It's looking all right, that one. I will mark that though, because when I stitch it to the book, I'm making it longer than what I need. It doesn't have to be the same size as this, but I just thought that would be easier to try and give me a sizing on it. I've got a couple of these pillowcases with the buttons on them, which is great. And you can see that even though some of this, I haven't ironed all this, you can tell it's, you know, some of this is a bit wrecked, that if I cut sections out of it, it's very usable. And I could do some other projects with it, but as usual I bought so much that I'm going to have to put some into my shop. I'd never use it all. I must stop buying. I keep saying that, and then of course I see new stuff or old stuff like this at auction, and then I buy. So the plan is that I need to go now and sew this down, and also, where's my page gone? Here. I also need to sew it onto this page. Now the question is, do I sew it on here, or will I sew it on the other way, other side? Because I could put something on the back here. I think it looks better with this as the edge. That was on the bottom, but I've turned it around, so I quite like that. So I'll go and sew this. So I'll sew down the sides first, and then I will sew it onto this along here, and then I can trim that off. In fact, I might not trim it off. I might use that to sew it onto the piece that I want to sew it onto, which will be this piece here. I have to make sure I don't end up getting this upside down. So if I sew that onto there, and then I'll have this one, and I'll use that piece to sew these two together, and then I'll have this freestanding little pocket. Okay, I'll pop away and do that and be back in a moment. So I've sewn that on, and we'll see what's happened. Hopefully it's worked. So I've got this piece, and then I've got the pocket, and then I've got that piece there. I just need to trim this back. I think it's a bit too wide. Just see if I can get it a bit straight. Might be a bit difficult trying to do it up in the air like this. Maybe another bit off the edge there. I could have cut this before I put it on, but I didn't know where it was going to end up. I haven't pinned this or anything. I just sewed it on. I don't pin a lot when I'm sewing. It's probably why I'm not great at it. I mean, you know, I can get things done, but it's never that neat as usual, but it works for me. So this will be a pocket now, and I can undo that button, and I could put something in there. I had this postcard before. I don't know if it's going to fit. It's probably not big enough. It's too wide now. See, it's coming over the top. The plan is just to tack these on here. So I'm going to start by snipping them off and using 5 of them. So that's plenty to go on here. Yes, I went for riding the bike this morning, and I went about 20 kilometres just for a ride, for pleasure, not to pick anything up. I went down to Sandgate, which it's got a long waterfront. There's Flinders Parade goes all the way along it, and there's a bike lane all the way along it because I could have ridden on the pathway, but there's always lots of people and dogs and kids riding bikes on the pathway, so I've just stuck in the bike lane, which is just as pleasant. It's a very, it's a busy street, but it's fairly good because of all the roundabouts on it, so there's plenty of traffic calming. So I went down there and did a ride and came home, and it was good fun. I've got about 170 odd kilometres on the bike now, which is nice. I think that it's a tiny bit crooked, but that's fine. And then I just need to find something to put in it and button it up. And then I've got a couple of things I want to do. So this one here, I actually thought I want a tab on it, and I was wondering if these would work. See if I can find, they're not long enough. I did get the larger ones out though. Let me just put my needle over there before I lose it. These aren't even opened. That's how many of these I've got. Right, so with this one, I've found this long journaling card, which is here, and it's a bit too long for the thing that I'm doing, but I have a plan. I have a master plan here. I'm going to trim it off around the size of the postcard. Now these are Tim Holtz postcards and Tim Holtz journaling cards. Enough said. I'm going to put this in here like that to be a tab, and I'm just wondering if I can leave it as that, because I did get my punch board out. Let's see what this will look like. I think I'll just leave it like that. I was going to make that into a little tab, but I quite like the round edges on here. So this is the plan. So a couple of weeks ago I moved my chair to another part of the table because I bought a rug, and I didn't want to be rolling around on the rug because I don't think it does them any good. However, I don't like it sitting up this end. I thought it was quite good. It is good for a lot of things, but I think the glare of the light is a bit too much here. So what I'm going to do to counteract this, and I didn't want to stick that down because I forgot to stick this bit in while I was talking, but what I'm going to do to counteract it is I'm going to move the craft room around a little bit. Well, a lot actually, because I'm going to move my big bench, which has been underneath the window ever since I moved in. I'm going to move that onto another wall, and then I'm going to push the table under the window, so I still have my light, but it's going to be better because I will have the chair will be back onto the tile. I think that looks fine. And I've got a great journaling spot there, and then when I put this in here I've got a little tab to pull it out. Might do some more of those. Now I got my found relatives out here because I had an idea that I could do a similar thing. Let me find one to put in here. Might put the little girls in, they're quite cute. Just checking the back. I think this is the packet of the newer ones that are all white on the back. And I'm thinking I'm going to get another of those journaling cards. Now that I've done it once, I can repeat. I was wondering if I could make something to put down here. I probably need some more things on this, but I quite like that. I like the paper. Now I had a piece before this. This is just an offcut of the paper. I could do something similar here. So I might do that. I'm just trying to think if I want to do that or something else. I need a bigger pocket on here. That's not going to be big enough to hold them. But it's a starting point. I'm thinking about cutting this or tearing this off. I'm not sure how well this tears. So let me just work out if I want to do that. I've never torn one of these. There's no reason why I can't. Just have never done it. So if I tear that off here, then I can have a better pocket in there. Okay, here goes. It's just a bit of paper, isn't it? Let's keep remembering it's just a bit of paper. It's very important not to think about the fact you're tearing a journaling card in half. Right, now what's happened is I've probably torn it the wrong way because I've got the white showing, but a bit of ink should fix that problem for me. Okay, that's that. And then this can go on here. And then I can put my picture in here. I don't have to put this piece on. I just thought it would be good. I'm actually going to tear it a bit. I don't like this big lump in here. And I'm also going to make sure it's on the card. I don't want to emphasize the fact that I've gone off the card, you know, that the card isn't quite big enough for the paper. And if I put it all the way, it's going to emphasize that fact. If I do it like that, it won't. In fact, I can tear a little bit more off here. Just come back the other way and get this torn. Okay, that's done now. And the girls are going to go in here, and I will put the journaling part on the back of them so that I get somewhere to journal and to make it a bit better, rather than just having the plain white. I've got some lines to write on. I'm not going to do a pull out this time, a tab thing. I'm just going to stick this on here and then cut around it. And I think that's better to have a surface like that, and you've got somewhere to write there that's nice. Put the little girls in here. You can still see the little bumblebee. I liked him. I made sure when I did it that I had the bumblebee on the page. I moved it across a little bit to get that. And I think that's quite pretty. So now I just need to see what else I want to do. This is lacking something, I think. I don't know what it is. It's just lacking something. I wonder if it's a bit of washi. That might make it look a bit better. This washi is so hard to tear, this one. I don't know why. It's really hard to tear though. I think that's better. Get a bit more of a layer in there. I've got this bit of old paper. I'm wondering if I can put some of that on here as well. Just a page number. I have to have it this way, I think. Let's see if I can tear this bit off too. Well, I really like that sort of grunged edge. What I might do is just run my scissors along it, break it up a little bit so it's not quite so straight. Now I've torn it, but that's probably better even still. Okay, that can go there. I think that's looking much better. I'm just squinting because I do that to try and see if I'm happy with how that looks. Yep, I think that's much better. Got my little card. All right, let's move some of that away. And I need to finish this piece. Now, what I've done, which you didn't see because I did it beforehand, was this is a piece of handmade paper. I've done some collaging on it with some other handmade paper, that washi, an old ticket and some lace. And then on this side I've put the pocket in. That's that same paper with the florals on it, the beautiful purpley flowers. And I need to put something here because I'm not happy with that. I was wondering if I could put the other side of this on, whether that would look all right. Probably not. Maybe on this side. Ah, that's much better. Okay, we'll get some ink on here. Just with that little bit of handmade paper showing. I know it might look like it's a waste. This is why I need to move my desk, because the glare's really coming in on that side. So hopefully by next time I'll have moved my desk. But I really like that contrast between the natural paper and this paper, which looks to me a bit like mattress ticking. It's not, but, or maybe it's meant to be, but that's what it looks like to me. So I think that that's much nicer the way that that's done. I'm just wondering if I can add some more stuff on there now, but I probably won't just now. And I've got that in there. I just have this page to decorate. Oh, and this too. So I might stop there and come back. I seem to have done quite a bit today, and I hope that you've enjoyed that and it's given you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching today. This is Deborah. Cheers.